Hey guys, it's Mark back here with you. Welcome back to the podcast. Short episode today on a really efficient and easy to create practice session. Because of course, we're guitarists, we're trying to get better here. And so whether you want to learn to play jazz at a high level or just learn to improvise, learn harmony, you need a plan. It's better to have a way that's very deliberate in the way you're going to practice. Or else we run the risk of, walking in circles in the forest and going, oh, I've been here before. I've been here maybe 6 months ago. I was trying to play that chord progression or do that technique and I wound up stuck. And then I try to circumvent the problem and it comes back around and around and around. So having a plan is one of the best ways to just move forward and actually get out of the woods. Although the woods are pretty dense and wide and large, especially if you're attempting to learn to improvise jazz. So here are the tips to make it efficient, simple, and fun, hopefully. Welcome to Jazz Guitar Lessons, where we help guitarists learn jazz faster, express themselves more fluently, and have fun along the way. My name is Mark, and if you're looking to learn jazz, form better practice habits, and especially if you enjoy a French accent, make sure to subscribe. Dedicate daily time. So if you can practice 5, 6, 7 days a week, at least half an hour, you will make progress if it's well organized. So that's just me reassuring you. Secondly, really important to have a practice session that doesn't have too many topics. Often, the practice sessions of my students that just come into the program that I coach will look like a groceries list. There's like 15 or 20 items. So this is your daily practice session. Yeah, it's like no way you're going to practice all of those and actually make progress and actually have some mental energy left for the rest of your life or your family or your work or whatever. So it's important to have perhaps 3 to 4 topics max. And I invite you to use my process. It's called the DPP, Daily Practice Pulse. It's a spreadsheet that I set up. There's a template found in the Jazz Guitar Fellowship link below. You can join for free. And this is how I keep an eye on my students and how people track the time they put and see how they organize their time, where the time is going when they practice. Because it is like an investment. If you put $1, you want to be sure to have at least $1 out. And it's interesting how people practice music and will have diminishing returns and keep spending time and putting money, quote unquote, into their practice. So to make sure you have a positive return, track your time. That's one of the main things I can tell you. And make sure you have a limited amount of topics in which you can go deep and feel yourself get better over a period of 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10, 12 weeks, right? So having the spreadsheet is good. And in the spreadsheet, I set up 4 columns. You may use only 2 or 3, but 4 is 3 or 4 is a magic number. Another thing, before I go into what components go into your practice session, I cannot stress this enough that timing yourself with an actual timer, a beeper timer, like a kitchen timer, is going to be a game changer. Interestingly, my students don't believe that until they do it. And when they start to do it, we all realize, I did that myself too, we all realize the timer is not meant to practice more. It's actually to stop myself from going too deep into a thing and actually experience diminishing returns over the time I practice. So if I tell myself it's going to be 20 minutes, I put it 20 minutes and I rehearse for that time. The danger is to have the thing be over 20 minutes, do an hour or more on it, and not make as much progress as if I'd done the same 20 minutes consistently, consecutively over several days. So that's the thing. The timer means stop. And a great way to do your plan, which I'll get to in a minute, is to have a timer for 3 different topics, to stop, and then to reassess. Do I have more time and where do I want to invest that time? Or is it time for jamming, having fun, and going to, True Fire and taking guitar lessons with Steve Vai or whatever? It doesn't really matter. But the point is to be really deliberate in how that time is invested. So without further ado, drum roll. The perfect practice session has 3 main components. First one, 50% of practice time on building repertoire and songs. So that's half an hour over your hours, 30 minutes through your hour. Second component will be something technical or building your vocabulary. And I recommend that being about 30% of your practice time. So maybe something like 18 minutes. Is that correct? Is my math okay? So I assume it's 30 minutes, 18 minutes, and then the remaining 12 will be on retention or maintenance. So the last 12 minutes is known songs through the process that I personally like to use and deploy and teach my students and keep people accountable for the process. Hey guys, just a quick note. If you're enjoying this content and you're eager to boost your own jazz guitar playing, then connect with us. We've transformed the jazz skills of thousands of guitarists. You can find the link in the description or head directly over to jazzguitarlessons.net to begin your journey. All right, let's dive back into the episode. Let me talk to you about the process a little bit, because that's over half of your practice session. When I do the first half, like the 30 minutes to my hour, I use the 5-step process. You can read about this. It's for free. It's jazzguitarlessons.net/process. Link in the description, of course. And that's how I like to tackle tunes. So the point here is to get 5 to 10 tunes at first, recommended 10 to 15, through that ringer, through the goalpost of having these 5 discrete steps. It can't be much simpler than this. If I have 10 tunes that I want to take through the 5 steps, it means I have 50 discrete segments to do. My recommendation is that a single tune should be taken through the 5 steps to step 5, which is the jam session, in approximately 3 weeks or 21 days. I recommend people take up probably often 2 songs at once. That would be at different layers. So maybe I have my song I just started on stage 1 right now, and my other song is already at stage 4. It doesn't really matter, but it takes about 3 weeks to reach completion. And then you put it in maintenance and retention, which is what you do in your last 12 minutes of practice, right? So in the first half hour of your 60-minute practice, I recommend you work on 1 or 2 songs through these stages. Set the timer up, because it's never finished, it's never over. You will want to do more. Just do what you can for that day. Film a video of yourself, post it to the community, also free, Jazz Guitar Fellowship, and then move on, right? Then the next 18 minutes would be on technique. So that's where you can look at my standard process, read it on the page, and I talk about steps 6 and 7, which are a bit more demanding. That's where you can work on technique, chords, inversions, scale positions, and stuff. Like anything really technical you can work on during that time. Set yourself a timer. It could be 1 technique, it could be 2 techniques. It doesn't really matter. Again, the first half of your practice session may also become, later down the line, working through the 7 stages. So after my students do that on enough tunes, I say, okay, now your process that does not have 5 stages anymore. It's got to have 7 stages. It's a bit more complex, but you'll go further with more songs. So 10, 15 songs recommended with the 5 stages. Then beyond that, you transform the 5 stages into 7 stages, but still it's the same tune. 7 discrete steps that are really easy to film, record, watch yourself and go, okay, I've done that, checkbox. We create a binary outcome, right? So far in your practice session, you've done your 30 minutes, you've done your 18, so you're up to 48 minutes. And in the last 12 minutes, you will go in retention mode, which means you pick tunes that you've taken through the ringer of all these stages, and you just basically jam on them. You do the head, you do a bit of comping, a bit of soloing, a bit of everything, until you convince yourself that you know it, or brush up on the things that you're lacking. Like you're missing the bridge, or you're missing something. I gotta review that. Perfect. That's the time to do it. Of course, as you build more tunes, you're not going to be able to play all of the tunes every single day, but keep the tunes on a rotation. Something I recommend for someone that has about 10 tunes, like the standards memorized, would be probably rotate the song 2 to 3 times per week. And that's enough to keep it fresh and not to forget it, and to keep building the neurons that relate to that tune. And that's it. So in a nutshell, you have that hour plan. 30 minutes, repertoire. Build your first 5 stages, 10, 15 songs. 18 minutes, a technique of sorts, or 2, and 12 minutes retention. That's your hour. It's proportional also. So you can, if you have 90 minutes, you can just change the number of minutes for each and adapt it to your taste. If you're adventurous, you may do 4 or 5 topics, although I'll just recommend that you stick to less topics until you've proven yourself or your coach consistency over these topics. And that's where the magic happens, guys. I can't stress this enough. The consistency is much better than a perfect practice session or a perfect rendition of the tune. 80-20, right? You're trying to get the tune to about 80% proficiency before moving on, before putting it to maintenance. All right, so that's it for this practice session. I hope it made sense. And just remember, this is supposed to be fun. So if you do an hour workout like this, which is pretty demanding. And after that, you feel like, I don't know, grabbing a coffee or cracking open a beer and doing some BB King improv style, or you're into funk guitar, or you want to review your classical guitar stuff, or you simply want to learn theory, that's fine. Just do whatever feels right for you at this moment. But for the first half, consider it like your workout. You're exercising your muscles. You're doing the things that you don't want to do, which is learning the darn tune and thinking, oh, that's too easy for me. That progression I've already done. It's just autumn leaves, whatever. Do it well, and you're going to get all the benefits from amazing practice sessions with few topics, with a really organized schedule. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.